Swadee Krap and welcome to Phuket Extra. Thanks to AKA Thailand. Don't forget, next Monday we'll be posting Phuket Extra between 5 and 6 each day instead of at noon. Well, on to today's local and regional news, and lots of flooding around this morning on Phuket's roads at all the usual suspects. Samkong intersection was in go-slow mode for an hour at the early peak this morning as floodwaters rose above knee level. Several cars and motorbikes were stranded when they attempted to go through the water. Well, other areas around Chao Pha West and Chao Pha East approaching Chalong Circle were also affected. This heavy rain is predicted through to Sunday. Police have arrested a young man who they say is responsible for a tragic road death of a 12-year-old girl last Friday. Char Ravet reports.
22-year-old Sitipong Simper is helping police with their investigation after being arrested for crushing a 12-year-old girl with his truck and dragging her body 150 meters. Police were able to track down the vehicle through CCTV footage. Sitipong told the police that he had no idea he had collided with the motorbike and that if he had known, he would have stopped. Sitipong has been charged with reckless driving, causing death and fleeing the scene of an accident. This is Chara Revitt reporting from Phuket News Centre.
Grab taxi metered cabs are going to get the priority parking spot set aside for taxis around the island. The Governor says that a third of Phuket's metered taxis have already signed up with the Grab Taxi app service. Governor Nissid has already flagged his support for Grab Taxi and is praising their work with the island's transportation officials and operators. He also sees it as the most important revolution of the island's taxi system and will continue to support their efforts. Police are currently hunting for another big-time Phuket drug dealer who fled after police raided a home in Kok Yao. Police found 1,500 methamphetamine pills, over 2 kilos of crystal meth, guns and ammunition. Police learned the dealer's whereabouts after arresting a number of small-time dealers and drug addicts. Police say the drugs had a street value of over 5 million baht and claim they know the identity of the man. Coming up next, new 6-month tourist visas, a new US ambassador for Thailand, and one reason we don't want trains in Phuket. You'll see what that's all about, all coming up next on Phuket Extra.
At QSI International School of Phuket, we offer a dynamic, student-centered learning program. Look us up at qsi.org and call us to schedule a walkthrough. At QSI Phuket, your child is not a number, but a family member.
Welcome back to Phuket Extra with thanks to AKA Thailand, the Muay Thai and fitness gym in Chalong. It seems the new 6-month multiple entry visa is getting universal approval. Tourism operators, officials and tourists are welcoming the approval of the new multiple entry visas. The Thai PM has announced that tourists can now get a visa enabling them to make multiple entries into Thailand during a 6-month period. The multiple entry visa costs 5,000, a single entry will cost 1,000. The newly appointed Tourism Permanent Secretary says the government hopes that the new visa arrangements will help attract better quality tourists for longer stays in the kingdom. The US Senate has approved the appointment of a former North Korea diplomat as the new US ambassador to Thailand. Glyn Davies is a Korea member of the US Foreign Service and now a senior advisor to the Bureau of East Asian and Pacific Affairs at the Department of State. Thailand hasn't had an official ambassador for 10 months since Christy Kenny left the post in November 2014, returning to the US. Public transport seems a good idea for the island, but we're not sure we want trains after seeing this video. On a Beijing subway, 2 Chinese women are fighting for a seat, even though the carriage was almost half empty. For no apparent reason, they're swearing at each other and trying to rip each other's clothes off. Other passengers seemed quite happy just to watch the show. To the weather, and no surprises for the 5-day forecast. Today's getting as low as 28. I can't remember ever seeing a daily top quite that low. 29 is the top for the outlook period, and thunderstorms through to next week. Heading down to the coast, and we've got westerly winds of up to 34 kilometres an hour, a swell up to nearly 2 metres. The high tide at 3 this afternoon, a low tide tonight at 9:45. Tomorrow's sunrise, if you hope to go and see it, and I hope you can, is at 6:18. Well, that's all we have for Phuket Extra this week. Don't forget, next week we're posting later in the afternoon between 5 and 6. We hope you have a great weekend. Try and keep out of the rain, and we'll see you next week.